Quizlet, football, and changes coming to Harbison Boulevard. Good afternoon, Dutch Fork. Today is Friday, November 8th, and your Silver Screen Report starts now. The Silver Spirit Band marches home after competing in the state finals. Daniel Hudson marches to the beat.
Months of arduous practices and halftime performances have all paid off for the Silver Spirit Marching Band, who made it to the state finals.
It was a good season. Kids performed really well. Real proud of how they did.
To compete in the state competition, it felt really good because you have the best bands in the state, and that means you're one of them. And for 5A, it's really big bands, and we were the second smallest band there. That means we have power to ourselves in our band.
It's kind of intense. We're in the highest division within the state, and so there's a lot of bands, and some of them are 2 or 3 times bigger than ours. So it's exciting, but it is very intimidating.
That was probably the biggest thing I've done in my life, so it was a real honor to me to be there and be part of the band as we got to state, and actually be in the finals was amazing.
Past accomplishments all led up to the finals, and band members worked tirelessly to make it to the state competition.
To 5 local competitions and won 4 of them, came in second once, 2 grand champions, so this was the pinnacle of the season as the state 5A marching band championships in South Carolina.
We've been preparing for this competition since the end of July. We've been out there on the band grid, sweating. It'll be really hot in the summer.
We practiced every week. It was always something different every day. Like one day we focused on visuals, another day was tempos. We just combined every day.
It's all mainly just psyching yourself into what you're going to be doing.
The future looks bright for the Silver Spirit Marching Band as they work towards their new goals.
This year we'll continue to, we shift into concert band mode now, and have several events that we do there, and working on individual things as well as group things. So we make a big shift into our learning mode at this point.
We always go to state finals every year, and so next year we plan to make state finals again and do a little bit better. We try to get better every year and just do the best that we can every year.
I think just as long as everybody gets along and everybody knows each other and everybody builds a good foundation with each other, the moral of the band will reflect in the performances, and it'll just continue to get greater.
This has been Daniel Hudson for your Silver Screen Report.
The Barnes & Noble on Harbison Boulevard is going out of business. Hamilton McAfee checks it out.
Because of an inability to renew the lease for its location, the Barnes & Noble on Harbison Boulevard will be closing its doors for good at the end of this year.
Well, at first I guess I wasn't very surprised that maybe Barnes & Noble might not be able to do enough business, but then when I heard about that it didn't have to do with Barnes & Noble as a company, it had to do with the store, or the, I don't know what you call it, the person who owns that complex and the rent and all of that. Because I was concerned, booksellers do go out of business these days, and I was worried that maybe our local community couldn't support a bookstore, but I think it can.
As a local hotspot for studying, Barnes & Noble's closing has placed a handicap on students who frequent the establishment.
I used to go in there, like study groups and stuff a lot from my STEM class last year, so that was kind of helpful. So them closing is kind of a bit of a disappointment.
SAT comes around, and you need SAT study books, ACT, and eventually you finish them and you want to go get more, and you always have the internet, but it just shows how technology's changing. Like, you still have an iBookstore, everywhere, but then again you look around and there's no more bookstores around. It's kind of crazy.
With the absence of a local Barnes & Noble, former customers will have to seek alternative ways to acquire books.
You're losing the atmosphere of the Barnes & Noble, but so much now, of course, is even books online purchase.
At least from the people that I know, a lot of us will buy books online. Like I do a lot of my even hardback book purchases online. I like to pre-order the books that I want before they come out. But I definitely will miss having somewhere to go when I need a book or need to recommend a book to someone. I'm also a parent of readers. I have a 6th and an 8th grader, and that's where we go when they need books to read. So I'm not really sure what our alternative will be yet.
This has been Hamilton McAfee for your Silver Screen Report.
Although Teen Read Week is over, students are still encouraged to read the book Cheat by Kristen Butcher. Jamie Mason opens the book.
The Media Center is encouraging students at Dutch Fork to read the novel Cheat, a book that carries a powerful message.
Cheat is the story of a young lady named Laurel who is in high school. She's on the school newspaper staff, and she discovers she loves being a reporter. So she looks for another story to write about, and she discovers there is cheating going on in her school. So she starts investigating and finds out how it's going on and where it's going on and who's involved, and is ready to print her story, but she finds out maybe she shouldn't print it after all because of who's actually involved in the cheating.
The novel Cheat is beneficial in many ways and exposes the dangers of cheating.
Well, I think the biggest danger is it gives you an artificial sense of accomplishment. It makes you think that you did something when you did not, and it creates this kind of negative idea that this is okay and everybody else is doing it, why can't I do it? I have so much work to do, and they tend to want to justify it, and I think that's the biggest danger, justifying cheating.
Cheating is common in many schools around the nation, but there are ways it can be prevented.
In my opinion, the only way you prevent it is computerized testing more than anything, because people always want to cheat off you. You want to sit next to them, but computerized testing and having different formats for it, if they cheat, you'll figure it out.
We could prevent cheating by, I guess we have like our system of rules like responsible, reputable, and the other one. And I mean, people like look at that and they're like, they see that everywhere and they're like, oh, well maybe I should think about that.
Reading the novel is still encouraged.
Well, I hope they'll continue to read and participate because Cheat's a great little book. It's not going to take up a lot of your time to read it. You can probably read it in an hour and a half. It teaches you how to download ebooks, and you'll see all the great ebooks we have available through the Follow It and Light app. And it gives a great message.
I like to tell my students over and over again, the only way we ever improve as readers is by reading, and reading books that are challenging and books that are thought-provoking, and books that kind of hold the mirror out to ourselves and allow ourselves to see a reflection of who we are in these books, and I think that's important.
This has been Jamie Mason for your Silver Screen Report.
Yesterday's Tech Tip Thursday focused on Quizlet. Michaela Baker has more.
Tech Tip Thursday was about Quizlet, a free flashcard app that is available to students from the app catalog. Once downloaded, sign up for a free account. Remember, all the cards that you make will be available to you from anywhere with internet access. Making flashcards is simple with just typing in the term and definition. Once your flashcards are made, you can study by using a learn feature, spelling feature, test feature, and even 2 games. Also, you can browse other sets of flashcards made by other people. Helpful in many ways, Quizlet is a great tool for all students to use. This has been Michaela Baker with your Silver Screen Report.
Junior Lizzie Shepard is an inspiring artist. Ariana Mount draws the picture.
I've been teaching myself how to draw since I was 7, and ever since then I just kind of kept drawing and evolved and got really good.
My friend Lizzie, she's really talented and she's always really humble and really kind, and she's really open about it. She's always inspired a lot of people, and she's really cool.
It's something to be admired and coveted because, I mean, I could never do that.
She has potential to be either like an animator or professional artist or comic book writer, whatever she wanted to be.
She's very detailed and she has a lot to say, and I feel like people don't really appreciate that half the time. She's a really bright person.
A friend, when I was like a little girl, she introduced me to this movie called Spirited Away by Hayao Miyazaki, and ever since then I'm like, I want to do that. So like animation, so that's why I got into drawing cartoons and such.
Really into the kind of Japanese animation sort of thing, and we share common interests. Like we both like Avengers and Tom Hiddleston, and I've seen her draw stuff like that.
My advice for people who like to draw is that don't be scared to get creative, because you can draw whatever you want and drawing does not define your skill, so you can do whatever you want. I draw so much, it's just kind of like, not my escape, but just kind of like my relaxation. I like drawing whenever I can. I do it like almost every day. It makes me happy.
This has been Ariana Mount for your Silver Screen Report.
The SAT word of the week is prowess, a noun meaning extraordinary ability. Here's Jamie Gilbert Fitzpatrick with the November Students of the Month.
Students of the month for the month of October are, for 9th grade, Michaela Bosborough and Glenn Levine. For 10th grade, Haley Beltshoover and Joe Mina. 11th grade, Christiana Moore, Grant Boyd. And for 12th grade, Miriam Cattell and Uday Sidhu. So congratulations to these students.
This has been Jamie Gilbert Fitzpatrick with your Silver Screen Report.
The Dutch Fork versus North Augusta game will determine if the Foxes will make second chair in the playoffs. LJ Finney has the story.
As the North Augusta game gets closer, the Dutch Fork football team continues their training for victory.
The best team we've played has been Goose Creek. But depending on that, we don't know if they're going to get into our playoff.
The training that the football team goes through to prepare for a football game keeps them active and up to par with other teams.
We do a lot of film study. We lift. We practice. We do walkthroughs.
Film, hit the weights, go to the field and work out.
They have some really good staff coaches. They have lots of good players who work hard every day, and I think they're really prepared for this game.
If Dutch Fork wins this game, they will have a surefire path to the second seed of the playoffs.
They're going to prepare by working twice as hard as normal because most of these, there's a lot of seniors on the football team this year, so they're going to try their hardest to do whatever it takes to practice themselves, prepare themselves for this game.
This game is the most important game of the season. We're treating it like the state championship because basically it's I mean, this could set our path to the state championship. You win this game and we're home. We're home the rest of the way. We're home until state, so this is the biggest game of the year.
This has been LJ Finney for your Silver Screen Report.
For this week's Kids in the Hall, we asked students about their expectations for the football team's playoff chances.
We have a great team. We have a good defensive line and offensive line, and I think they'll do a really good job. They just got to work hard.
I think they should make it past a couple of rounds. I don't think they're going to win at all, but I think they're going to come pretty close.
I expect them to do well. I mean, they did well last year. Hopefully they'll do the same this year.
Well, you know, it's class of 14. This is our year. I really feel like my boys got it. I mean, they got us. They got all the Foxes out here. We can win state.
Dutch Fork basketball season has officially started. Haley Youngener takes the shot.
As sneakers squeak on the gym floor and hearts pound with exhaustion, basketball tryouts began on November 4th.
We're looking for more enthusiasm, which we already have. I can't say what I'm looking for because I already got it. And the girls worked out really well this summer, and they had a great summer and was very successful.
Tryouts probably will go pretty good because Coach Norris keeps it running smooth, but they're mainly looking for people who are skilled and who know how to interact with other people and movement of the ball, defense, offense, that type of stuff.
With a new season comes new expectations, especially for those who want to improve as both an individual and as a team.
We want to go to the top. That's always a personal goal. You know, last year we had a perfect season, so I think this year is chasing perfection. So in order to chase that, we got to practice every day and make sure that we do things well and correct, not just go through the motions.
My goal is to lead my team to a state championship.
Seniors are determined to make this basketball season their best.
There's only 3 seniors this year, so it's a young team, and so that means they have potential to do well throughout the years after the seniors leave. So having a young team sometimes poses some difficulties because they're not as used to playing at that level.
I think that we have a lot more chemistry than we did last year because we're all seniors and we've been playing with each other for a while, so we'll be good.
The players are looking forward to a good season, with a 3-peat as a goal for the girls.
I think our girls are going to do just as good as they do every year. I have a lot of faith in the boys.
Well, if we compete like we did last year, then we have a pretty good chance at having a 3-peat.
But the only thing is that, you know, we have to have everyone on the team working together. It's like a team effort. It's not just like one person. And another thing this year is we don't have the same height like we did last year, but, you know, we have a bunch of people on the team who can contribute. So it's a good thing. I think we can do very well this year.
This has been Haley Younginer for your Silver Screen Report.
The boys and girls basketball teams will host the 3rd annual Moonlight Madness fundraiser next Wednesday at 7 p.m. The talent show has been postponed until February 21st. See Dr. Seal with questions. Students who park in the student parking lot, please make sure to lock your cars. Students, please remember to not update district-bought apps on the iPads. Thanks for watching. We won't have a show next week, but we'll see you again November 22nd. You're like, oh, the talent show has been postponed until February 21st. See Dr. Oh my God.